Ride boy, my nigga.
Boom shakalaka!
Hey, welcome to the House of Cons. I'm Black Jack. Back one more time, strictly for my niggas. We talking Buck Gang. Salute to Steven Scuba in the house. Salute Buck Gang in the house. Rocking out that Black Sheep and that home team on the intro. Salute the Black Sheep. Salute the home team. So that old school hip hop. In the stronghold of the noggin, we looking at the Rufus Buck Gang on the thumbnail. My Buck Gang. Yeah, we was talking about Buck Gang yesterday on the last live stream. We letting everybody know we was gonna talk about it today. And you know, we in the stronghold of the Nagas. And you ever wonder? Well, when I was in school, man, I always wondered, man. I was like, we live in the United States of America. Why we never learn anything about the American Indians? That's what I used to wonder. It's like they always want to teach us about Africa and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why we never learn about the Indians? And as I got older, you know, with the help of my ancestors and you know, and the wisdoms from the Most High, I realized that they weren't teaching us about American Indians because it was our ancestors. Salute. I was like,
You
that's
big
why
dummy.
they not teaching us about it. It was a big secret. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, so I get on here on YouTube, you know, to spread this history, and it got everything to do with you, and you can see exactly why they don't teach our kids or didn't teach us about Native Americans or American Indians and the history of early America. They didn't teach us this stuff for a reason. They didn't want you to know. They can't teach it to you. If they teach it to you, you will see that it was your ancestors. It's filled with you, just like this bounty picture. It was filled with your people, but they hid it. But you can't hide something like this. Think about it. And today we talking Rufus Buck Gang. And I know a lot of people probably already heard of Buck Gang. Or like I told everybody, you know, I gave a homework assignment last night. I was like, hey man, go get up on Buck Gang. That's what we're gonna talk about. So we're looking at Buck Gang on this bounty. And slap dab in the middle is Rufus, the leader of Buck Gang. You know, they'll tell you he's an African American, but there was no such thing at the time as an African American. And he damn sure wasn't a slave. He was a Creek Indian. Salute. How is the so-called African American the leader of the gang? He's a Creek Indian. He was the chief. He was the head of the gang, old Rufus. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to dig into it. But before we dig into it, I'm going to double back on something we got on last live stream. I glossed over for a second to show y'all about Pocheese, the American Negro Indian, the A&I. 1833, Native Americans in Jackson County, 1833 census. Now, we were strolling through these names, looking at these names on this census record. 203 Low Gang in the house, salute. We were just going over some of this last night, and we was talking about Pocheese in particular, but I ain't mean to speed through it so fast. You know, it was just like a add-on for oh man, what is going on with my phone? Hold on for a minute. Let me silence my phone. See, like, as soon as I get on live, people go to text me stuff. Throw me off. I don't like to be distracted. But we was looking at this. We were looking at Pocheese, and we were looking at other nigglets that was on this Muskogee Creek Indian census. Muskogee Creek, see, Muskogee from 1833. You know what I'm saying? We was looking at this. We were looking at Pocheese. How they was calling him African American. He was obviously a Negro. We're looking at all the warrior names, but I passed over some stuff that I should have took more time on. We talked about this on another live stream. Pocheese and the ones with the asterisks are not the only so-called Negroes that's on this list. See, if you look here, if we take our time, just go through the list. Like, we glossed over a couple things. We just passed by. See right here at the end of the list with a bunch of unknown names. And it says free black, free black, free black, free black. So when we got up on Po Cheese, and we saw the asterisk by Po Cheese name and a few others names in these rows, and we saw down here, it told us that the asterisk stood for African American, basically Negro, a Creek refugee or whatever. But just pointing this out to let you understand that not all of them had an asterisk that was that had an asterisk that was Negro. Yeah, you see Po Cheese had the asterisk for a South in the house. You see Po Cheese, he had the asterisk for African American. Someone had the double asterisk. But a lot of these so-called blacks and free blacks, a lot of them had no asterisk at all. It might just say free black, or it might even say nothing at all. Because we know Fula Tiga was a Negro. Ben, you know what I'm saying, Fula Tiga was the widow of this former chief of this family, all the free blacks. They put unknown. But a lot of these, the majority of these was Negroes, even without the asterisks, or without the note of it being a free black. You gotta look past the deception. But that's neither here nor there. That's just one thing. And anybody want this source, it's easy to find this source. All you gotta do, if you want to find this source, the source is exploresouthernhistory.com, 1833 Native American census for Jackson County, Florida. That's an easy way you can just type that in. You can pull the source up for anybody who want it. It's Creek Negroes. But back to what we talking about today. We're talking about the Rufus Buck gang. But we're talking about the Rufus Buck gang. Some other Creek Indians in the Oklahoma Territory. Ambush Predator in the house, Tribal Salute.
Boom shakalaka!
We talking Buck gang. Some more Creek Indians. Things to know about the Creek Indians, Buck gang. The history of Buck gang. The Rufus Buck gang was an outlaw gang whose members included African Americans. Man, they gotta cut this shit out, man. They need to cut the term African American ain't even exist back then, man. Stop it. Just say American Negro. Or say Negro Indian. Say what it really is. You know, they tried to erase that American Negro title off us quick. They tried to get that. They said, oh, y'all African Americans. No, y'all black. No, what happened to American Negro? That mean Negro Indian. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, I'm still American Negro. I'm still American Negro Indian. Don't call me that other shit. I'm not black. I'm not African American. I'm American Negro. Negro Indian, just like Rufus Buck was. The outlaw gang whose member included Negro Indians. So-called mixed race, black and Indian. And Native American teenagers and young adults from the Creek Muskogee Nation. So we know about Indian Territory, the all-black state of Oklahoma. We know about the Muskogee Creek Nation with sundown towns like Wildcat, where white men, paleface, and red men, fake Indians, was told to leave before sundown. So don't go for this mixed crap they talking about. The real Indian is the Niglets, the leader, like Rufus Buck. You know what I'm saying? Those the real Indians. Any mixed race, we just let them in. You know what I'm saying? That's all that's about. The real ones was the Niglets. Rufus Buck gang, Black Pass. Buck gang, Encyclopedia of Oklahoma History. So here go another picture. Before we go into something else, let's look at some of these images real quick. Then we'll come back to that and we'll go look at what we're looking at. That roof is right there in the middle. See, the nigga got his hat tilted. See, that's how you know that's a real nigga there. Nigga got his hat tilted. Him and the nigga next to him, the only two with their hat tilted. Mother fools got their hat straight. You know, they ain't really all the way like us. Yeah, that Rufus right there in the middle. Don't F around. Rufus now went on a rampage in Indian Territory. The rampage of Rufus Buck gang. The Rufus Buck gang, left to right. Muma July Sam Sampson, Rufus Buck, Lucky Davis, and Lewis Davis. Yeah, the Buck gang. Yeah, Idris Elba played Rufus Buck in the movie. Yeah, Idris Elba playing Buck. Hey, Elba's funny to say Rufus Buck got boy Monog in the house. Salute, y'all. Rufus Buck got Buck ass wild. Buck gang. See, they try to whitewash and redwash everything, but they can't. They just can't redwash and whitewash certain shit. They get into it, man. These folks funny, man. Rufus Buck gang on Wikipedia. The Rufus Buck gang was an outlaw Native American gang. I thought it was African American, whose member was Creek, Indian, and African Americans. All right, we just read the history. Let's go to Oklahoma Historical Society. Let's see what they got to say. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they try to remix it. Buck gang. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Salute the Buck gang. I started to put that look if you buck, boy. Look if you buck. I started to put that on the intro. I said, nah, I ain't I'm gonna hold that look if you buck now. I don't want y'all getting too riding in here today. In July and August 1895, before the term African American even existed, before Oklahoma officially became a U.S. state, Buck gang terrorized citizens of the Creek Nation and Indian Territory. Gang members Rufus Buck, Lucky Davis, Sam Sampson, and Naomi July and Lewis Davis joined forces after working individually as horse thieves and whiskey peddlers. All members was of American Indian or African American Negroid descent.
You big dummy. Boom shakalaka.
African American ain't even exist back then. Where'd they get that from? I mean, I studied enough to know African American wasn't even a thing. Anyway, Buck's motive for revenge on local citizenry was fueled by his hatred of white intruders in Indian Territory. Just like the town of Wildcat, white men and fake red men were warned to leave before sundown. When it got dark. They talking about here African. They talking about the leader of African American. But Buck's whole motive for revenge on local citizens was fueled by his hatred of white. Buck, the nigger, the African, the one they call the African American, the leader of the Creek Indian gang. His hatred of the white intruders in Indian Territory. He wasn't worrying about Africa. How he an African American? Buck was pissed off, and other gang members seemed to follow his lead. Everybody else followed Buck. They followed Buck. He talking about Buck was from Zimbabwe. I bet you won't say it to his face. Bet you won't call him African American. He a Creek Negro Indian. He want bad news beat you home. Called him Buck out his name.
Boom shakalaka.
Buck had a hatred for white intruders in Indian Territory. And that was his motive for revenge on the local settlers. During their 13-day rampage, almost 2 weeks, the gang robbed general stores. They robbed the Dollar Generals. They robbed all the Dollar Generals in Indian Territory. They smoked out Moji Marshall, John Garrett, and they made a pack out of them and rolled them up. They rolled up. Yeah, they smoking on John Marshall, John Garnett. They were smoking on Garnett. And they assaulted several white ops, the women. They also shot Benton Callahan, and they smoked his farmhand. Buck knew Callahan because Callahan's father, Samuel Benton Callahan, as superintendent of the Willaka Boarding School, had expelled Buck from school. On August 10th, 1895, a smoke battle ensued at Flat Rock Creek, 7 miles north of Okmulgee, between gang members and the law. After their capture, the gang was transported to the Federal District Court of Western Arkansas in Fort Smith, which had jurisdiction over crimes committed against whites in Indian Territory. They were tried and found guilty on charges of rapes, and Judge Isaac Parker sentenced them to hang. After appealing the Supreme Court, which issued no opinion, the gang was hanged on July 1st, 1896 in Fort Smith. The Buck Gang. That's what the Oklahoma... Let's go back and see what else somebody else got to say. Let's see. Let's see what Wikipedia had to say. The Rufus Buck Gang was outlawed Native American engine gang. Whose members were Creek engines. Their crime spree took place in the territory of the Arkansas-Oklahoma area from July 30th, 1895 through August 4th, 1895. They gave us some dates. Formed by Rufus Buck. The gang consisted also of Louis Davis, Sam Sampson, Mayoma July, and Lucky Davis. I wonder if Louis Davis and Lucky Davis was brothers. The gang began building up a small stockpile of weapons while staying in Okmulgee, Oklahoma, after smoking U.S. Marshal John Garrett. Yeah. It's the gang began holding up various Dollar Generals and ranches in the Fort Smith area during the next 2 weeks. In one incident, a salesman named Callahan, after being robbed, was offered a chance to escape if he could outrun the gang.
You big dummy. Boom shakalaka.
They say, man, you think you can run? Let's see. Everybody shooting at that knocker feet. He was offered a chance to escape if he could outrun the gang. When the elderly Callahan successfully escaped, he got away. The gang smoked his assistance in frustration. At least 2 male victims were raped by the gang, and they died of their injuries. Dang. Here's a list of crimes committed by the gang. July 28th, killing of smoking of the marshal. July 31st, coming across a white man and his daughter in the wagon. The gang held the man at gunpoint and took the girl.
Biatch.
Hey, they were terrorizing. They were terrorizing the settlers. This what happen when you invade people's land and start calling them N-words. Robbing of the Dollar Generals of Weston J. Norberg at Orchid, Oklahoma. Smoking on 2 white pack women and a 14-year-old girl. Yeah, they was getting busy, couching and hanging of the gang. Continual attacks on both local settlers and Creek indiscriminately. They were like, any of you sell out Creeks talking about you an African American, or you telling the white man it's okay to come around, we're gonna get at y'all too. The gang was captured outside Muskogee by a combined force of lawmen and Indian police of the Creek Light Horse, led by Marshal S. Morton Rutherford, on August 10th. While the Creek wanted to hold the gang for trial, the men were brought before a hanging judge, Isaac C. Parker. He twice sentenced them to death. The first sentence not being carried out pending an ultimately unsuccessful appeal to the Supreme Court. They were hanged on July 1st, 1896 at 1 p.m. at Fort Smith. Yeah, a slightly modified account of the gang's crimes is the basis of the novel Winding Stair by Douglas C. Jones. The Buck Gang hanging judge Isaac C. Parker, half black, half Indian, outlaw Cherokee Bill. Y'all remember we did a show on Cherokee Bill? Talking about he half black, half Indian. Man, that nigga all nigga. Hey, Monaco said it sounds very similar to the Jesse James gang, right? How come out? See, it's always half black, half Indian. It's always this. It's always Negro Indian. And these people got the nerve to try to say it ain't you. You the first Indian. You the first tobacco Indian. You the first Indian on the map. You always the first Indian. They kind of try to say it ain't you now. All these other people are trying to blend it in. Everybody always trying to be with us. They can't even do history without including you, but they want to teach you about Africa. And then you got the fake Indians want to talk about you ain't no Indian, but you all up in the Kool-Aid though, all up in the mix. They got something to hide. We know what they hide. Salute. We know exactly what they hide. We already know. We just cracking jokes and pointing it out on them. We know the real deal. And they know the real deal because they over here watching too. They over here watching too. Call these niggas African. Niggas ain't African American. Niggas American, Negro, Indians, indigenous people, our ancestors. Salute. Man. Did y'all here see? Look at these other guys. Look mighty pale to me. Look at the blend-ins. They're not the leaders. Look at the outsiders. They're not the leaders. Who the leaders? Right here. Rufus Buck. His right-hand man. It's even more funny, even back to this road. See, you can catch them in their lie so easy so many times, especially when you know your history. They always lying. They always say you on the Native American road because you was a freedman. And you was a slave. That ain't true. If that's true, if you only in the tribe because you was a slave, why they say free blacks? What they thought somebody just was gonna take their word and not slow down and think. It says free blacks. Pocheese is not a slave, he's a young warrior. Lochinka is not a slave, he's a young warrior. You want to say the Indians had slaves. You want to say the Indians had African slaves. You want to call them African Americans. But the records don't say that. The records say young warrior and chiefs and gang leaders. Don't look like no slave to me. Like a young warrior, much like a Pocheese. So you can just try to lie your way, but you can't lie your way out of a wet paper bag around me. Oh, you're on the road because you was a slave. You're on the road because you was a slave. Tell that to these free blacks in 1833. So you modern day fake historians can say what you want to say. You weren't living in 1833, and the records don't match up with what you saying. It's funny to me. It's just hilarious. They don't got a whole lot about Buck Gang. They done did little movies, but they don't really got a lot about it. The Rufus Buck Gang, outlaw gang, included African Americans, black and Indian. The group's brief horrific crime spree occurred in the Indian Territory, now Oklahoma. Yeah, all black. The gang was formed by Rufus Buck. Yeah. See, they all got the same stuff in each one. Yeah, that was the Harder They Fall, where Idris Elba was playing Rufus Buck. I ain't never watched The Harder They Fall. Somebody said they seen it, though. I heard it was good. Got Idris Elba in that bitch. Hey man, I wanted to holler at y'all about the Buck Gang. I got another show lined up for a little bit later. We're gonna get back on in Indian Territory. Hey, salute to Israel Plight in the house. Israelite Plight. We're gonna get back in Indian Territory a little bit later. I just want to touch down on the Buck Gang just to add it up in you know, it's always you though. Black, I'm gonna say black pass. I ain't black though, but we getting past all this, man. We slowly but surely getting past all this black stuff and getting down to our true identities. My naga. That nigga look like he'll kill somebody. The Rufus Buck look like he don't give a damn. Rufus Buck look like he don't give a damn. And then his boy look like he got his bike. His boy look like he got his bike right or wrong. Hey man, we're gonna get up later, y'all. On Blackjack, this house of con. We out. Peace.